Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praises and glory and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakar Kadash. Double honors to the elders, apostles, great millstone, preaching his word truthfully and sincerely. And shalom to the Akim, that be like unto the speckled bird, preaching his word truthfully and sincerely. And shalom to the Akim, scattered through the four corners of the globe, preaching his word truthfully and sincerely. And I say shalom to you Akim out there. And this is another sit-down lesson on this February the 11th, 2022, on this Friday afternoon. And this article I just pulled up right here, and this was recently too, and this is from RT.com, and this was posted and updated on February the 11th, 2022 for today. And the highlight of this news article, and it says, Judge orders truckers to end U.S.-Canada border blockage. Freedom Convoy protesters have a deadline to disperse from Ambassador Bridge on U.S. Canadian border or face arrest. It says truckers and other protesters demonstrating on the bridge between Windsor, Ontario, and Detroit, Michigan, have until 7 p.m. local time to leave or face being arrested and having their vehicles seized. The Ontario Superior Court said on Friday. Chief Justice Sharif West, if I pronounced his name right, couldn't fully pronounce it, Slaki, issued a ruling after more than 4 hours of a virtual hearing on complaints by the city of Windsor and auto part makers who said the blockage that started Monday was hurting their businesses. The protests at the busiest U.S.-Canadian border crossing that accounts for more than a quarter of trade between the two countries, causing traffic to come to a grinding halt. Early on Friday, Ontario declared a state of emergency over the blockage, giving police sweeping powers to detain and fine demonstrators refusing to disperse, with Premier Doug Ford declared that it was illegal and punishable to block and impede the movement of goods. Continuing on with the news article, those who defy the order can face steps up to fines up to $100,000 and a year behind bars. Wow. Whoa. Yeah. And it says, I believe I was reading a news article too. I kept my eye on it, but I wasn't, I was bypassing it, scrolling down because I was looking at some other news articles. I believe it was about like 2 days ago, and I guess they had got this influence between, the United States, and they influence Canada officials to use their power, their power to the power authority to, the protesters, And it says, truckers and allies have also flooded Canadians' capital, Ottawa. The protesters have likewise refused to scatter on their own, demanding their request to lift C-word 19 V-word requirements, and met by Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, who earlier referred to the protesters as a fringe minority with unacceptable views on Friday. The PM The prime minister urged the demonstrators to despair, suggests they might end up with a criminal record and lose their license to operating trucks. And they hit them with a $10,000 fine and potentially 1 year up in jail. So yeah, they hitting them with harsh penalties on that. So I'm gonna bring out a scripture that, cause some of them you never know, they might rebel against it. They might not listen to their government officials. I'm just saying, you never know. Bring out a scripture for that. This is the book of Second Esdras, chapter 9, verse 3, and it reads, "Therefore, when there should be seen earthquakes and uproars in the people of the world," right? Because you're seeing uproar in the peoples of the world. They rebelling against their political leaders and their political figures. They rebellion and going against the water mandates. And that's what seeing right now with the current situation with the truckers over there in the U.S. border. I mean the Canadian border. I meant to say Slovakia. And I'm gonna bring out another scripture as well too. Bring out one more scripture and close out the sit down lesson. Yep. This is the book of Second Esdras, chapter 15, verse 6. And there should be sedition among men. We're seeing that as well too, increasingly. Invading one another. We're seeing that as well too. And they should not regard their kings nor their princes. Their political leaders and their political figures in these countries, Just like mentioning in the Canadian border, the trucker situation, and they got allies as well too, to be, in the hoops with them together, Nor princes in the course of their actions should stand in their power, right? Even if they, the judge made that order of the protesters to disperse, or they will face the lose of their vehicles and the loss of their license, and they face up to high penalties, and they might face jail time. So this coming from the judge, as I just read the article of that, and I believe he giving them until like 7 or 8 o'clock. I don't know if it's for today or tomorrow, but he made that announcement. The judge over there in Canada, Iowa, Canada, and then they declared a state of emergency over there as well too. With the ongoing current trucker protest situation over there in Canada. So yeah, hey, let's see what the protesters, what their mindset is gonna be. Is they gonna rebel against it, or they gonna pack all their things and drive their trucks away and go home? It's gonna be the either or. It's two different options. Either they gonna rebel against their government leaders and their officials, rebel against it, and they could continue on with their protests, or they're gonna follow the orders. So these are the times that we are living in. You've been seeing an increase of upwards of the people. They should not regard their kings nor their princes. The continual increase sedition among man, invading one another, and we've been currently seeing that, and it's going to continue to increase in these last days. So this is all I wanted to bring out, these two scriptures in the book of Second Esdras 9:3, in the book of Second Esdras 15:6, and regarding to this news article right here that I just brought out. Salaki. Regarding this news article right here, a judge just made an announcement of a judge ordered truckers to end the U.S. Canadian border blockage because it's affecting the economy within the United States and Canadian border. Regards to the car industry, I believe, and that's affecting their economy. So it kind of affected them since Monday or like a week now, I believe. So we're gonna see if they gonna follow the orders, or they gonna face fine or face jail time, or lose possession of their vehicle and their license as a trucker or as a driver as well too, and they face harsh penalties of, I believe, up to $100,000 and a year in prison potentially if they don't follow these orders. So we're gonna see if they're gonna rebel against it or they're gonna follow the orders. So these are times that we are living in. We seen the sedition among men, evading one another, uproars of the people, going against their government officials, their political leaders in these countries. We're gonna continue to see that with this rebellion. And we've been seeing this throughout the whole planet Earth so far. The increase of and uprises and uproars of the people going against this water mandates. You've been seeing the division between the people that took the waters, and the people that rebel against the waters. People that's pro waters, and people that's a rebellion and against the waters. You've been seeing clashes and divisions with that as well too. So with that, other than that, that's all I wanted to bring out. I just brought out this news article right here in this current situation. And so with that, I hope this was edifying through the spirit of power, grace, and mercy of Yahweh Yahushua. And first and foremost, I'd like to give all praises and glory and honor to Yahweh, Hashem, Yahushua, Bahashem, Rakar Kadash. Double honors to the elders, apostles, great millstone, pushing his word truthfully and sincerely. Shalom to the Akim, scattered through four corners of the globe, preaching his word truthfully and sincerely. And shalom to your Akim, that be like unto the speckled bird, preaching his word truthfully and sincerely. Until next time, I will say shalom.